And we gon' bring you that dope.
And we gon' bring you that dope. It's Gator Beater, baby. Main state to state, baby, coast to coast. Like the fire, baby, spark the joke.
And we gon' bring you that dope.
Come talk with Erica, man, talk with G. And all you gotta do is talk with me.
And we gon' bring you that dope. And we gon' bring you that dope. And we gon' give you that dough. And we gon' bring you that dough.
Hey, good evening, everybody. What's up? Welcome back to another Dope Discussions Live Tuesday night. I see our people is coming on in the building. How y'all doing? What's up, Quincy? What's up, Love Tucker? We got a good show for y'all tonight. A dope topic, a special guest. As you can see, my co-host is a little tardy. He's a little late. He'll be in a little later to help us kick off this dope discussion of tonight. But I got a special guest who's always welcome on this podcast, on this platform, and we're always excited for him to bring his perspective to these relationship topics that we like to have. So I'm not going to delay. Without further ado, I'm bringing out my boy, my friend, my brother from another mother, Derrick Jones from the Relationship Podcast. Yo, hey.
I'm back, y'all.
He's back. It's been a long time come, but he's back.
How are you?
I'm good. What you been up to, D Jones?
I've been in these relationship streets. It's ugly out here, but I'm here to try to bring a little bit of hope, because everybody's out here doing whatever they want to do, and they're not doing what they need to do. So, yeah, I just been, coaching, and I'm still coaching. I'm still around. I'm just not on the Instagrams or the Facebooks. I'm on TikTok right now. So
yeah,
but,
y'all, if y'all not on TikTok, y'all better get on TikTok and follow my boy Derrick Jones. He be going live every Tuesday and Thursday night with the relationship topics. The people be in the comments, they be trying to pick his brain. He be like, I'm gonna give y'all a little sample.
Yep.
But if you want the real deal Holyfield, you got to really come on in to the relationship gumbo. You can tell it better than I can. Tell everybody about the platform, the coaching, the programs that you got going on.
Okay, well, just in case there's some new folks here, my name is Derrick Jones. I'm a certified life and relationship coach and also an emotional intelligence coach. And I just try to help you understand yourself, understand your emotions, try to help you find the right recipe to making better decisions. And hopefully, with all of those tools and skills, you can hopefully match up with someone else that's like-minded. So I go live on TikTok Tuesdays and Thursdays now. I do group coaching on Mondays. Group coaching isn't free, but it's a nominal fee. It's $30 a month. So if you want to get coaching and cost was a factor, everything that you think you can come up with, I've sealed the leaks. Everything that I'm doing is on my website, relationshipgumbo.info. So yeah, I'm just out here in these streets, just trying to get the word out there that you can make better decisions, and and I can help you with that. So yeah, that's it. I just been around. I normally used to be on YouTube and Facebook and all of that stuff. I just moved up the road. So you just got to get in your car and drive down the street, find TikTok, and I'm there.
Yes, and he's not new to this. He's true to this. And he's not one of those snake oil salesmen. He actually lives what he teaches. His life coaching is from more life experience than anything. And how many years of marriage do you have under your belt?
Be 13 in a week.
Lucky number 13.
Yep,
and I know his wife, and I know that their relationship is the real deal, Holyfield. It's not that play stuff that people be putting out there. It's real.
Yeah.
So you
It's
getting
definitely
real coaching. Yes. So none better than to start this topic off with me. We are going to be talking tonight about, let me see if I can get it up on the screen, marriage, friendship, and gender roles. Derrick Jones, I thought last year was a bad year for the gender wars on social media between men and women, but I think this year is kind of topped it off. What you think?
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's an ongoing battle. It's a sub battle to the major man versus woman battle that's probably been going on forever. But it's now that we have social media and it got, I think it kind of got exacerbated a little bit when COVID happened and everybody was in the house, so they got to really like find their voice to fight during those whatever. So now it's just propagating everywhere now, and it's like literally every day.
Yeah, you can scroll on TikTok on any given day, and you will see a live forum of like 10 people discussing a relationship topic, going back and forth, why it's a men problem, why it's a women problem, why it's rap music problem. It's always somebody pointing a finger. Nobody's ever really coming up with solutions. It's somebody else's fault all the time. And I just be laying back in the cut, observing, listening, and getting so tired.
Yeah. You gotta detach from it sometimes or all the time, because it will take you, those algorithms will take you into a rabbit hole that you can't get out of. But it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's disheartening because the people that are complaining are in lives with the people that they say they don't want, trying to convince them to be something else. And I'm like, if you want somebody that's this way, but you're arguing with somebody who's not that, just don't talk to them and go find that person. I don't understand. Like, they be going at it, trying to mold people. Like, if you don't like, let's say if you're a guy and you don't want women with kids, why are you arguing with a woman that have kids about why she had kids? And I'm like, what?
You can never change the fact that she has kids. She can't take the kids back. So why are you focusing so much energy on women who have kids than with women who don't have kids or who you looking for?
Yeah. So,
but every now and then, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I just feel like, there's creators out there like myself and a lot of others that are trying to be some kind of a light towards just it really, it's not even really about relationships at this point. It's about human decency and just really just caring about your neighbor, right? Like, we got to do that first, and then maybe we can start to talk about the relationship stuff. But the way that they talk to each other, this is like a mutual respect thing first before we even talk about how we partner. So yeah.
Yes, but every now and then I come across a video or a creator who says something that's thought-provoking. And because I think a lot of these conversations are just surface level stuff. It's not getting to the root cause of what's the real issue with us in relationships and being able to relate to each other and have healthy relationships. So when I come across a piece of content that digs deeper and sparks conversations that really make a difference, those are the kind of conversations and the topics that I want to share on this platform. So I'm going to share a clip with y'all that I got from TikTok, from this creator, a conversation on TikTok. And it was the piece of content that actually inspired this conversation. And I shared it with Derrick, and we were talking about how we want to talk about this topic. So let's listen to this video, and then I want to hear y'all's thoughts in the comments on what y'all think about it as well. We're going to have a big group chat about this. So here we go.
And this is the reason why a lot of men end up marrying somebody who's a maid but not a friend.
Bro, I'm gonna throw some your way, and I want you to answer that.
This is the reason why she's washing your clothes. She's doing everything that you want her to do, but you don't want to talk to her. She easily irritates you because you don't even like her.
That's what I want to get to. Thank you for going there.
You don't even like her.
Bro, I've talked to several married men who told me that they don't like their wives. I asked them, well, are you at least friends with your wife? They're like, friends?
I bet they do. I bet they do everything for them, though. They do everything for them, though.
Can I say something?
You make enough money to marry a maid. I mean, to hire a maid. I mean, and then marry a friend, right?
Wow.
If you want, if that's what you want, and so what you really want is somebody to cater to your egos
And your brokenness.
your brokenness,
Yeah.
because you didn't get that to Jesus.
Woo. Go ahead. Go, sis.
Can I say
Yeah.
something? I have thought it a bit interesting that it does seem like some men enjoy men more than they enjoy women, but they marry women because they're supposed to, but their affections, their time, their energy, their vulnerability is giving space for men more than so.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what are your initial thoughts when you saw that video?
Well, my mind has to compartmentalize it, right? Like that last part about men wanting to be with their friends and all of that. I put that in one category, and then so I can talk about that separately. And then the whole marrying somebody that you don't like, I think that happens a lot. Gator's in the building.
What's up, Gator?
So I need to explain to you guys what heat is, right? Heat is when your AC is out for multiple days and no HVAC company has any appointments available. So you have to sit and wait for those appointments to come about. That's heat. That's what I've been experiencing the last few days.
Wow.
Since what, Friday? Yeah, since Friday. So they literally just came in here and was resetting everything for the new HVAC. So man, if it looked like I'm worn out,
You didn't put in for that weight loss program, did you?
right.
If
And
you
you
need
know
to
what?
do
I
the
finally-
church finger, church finger.
Look, exactly. And I may have to because I know that they still doing some stuff out there. But man, hey everybody. Glad
What's up?
see y'all. Glad to see y'all, man.
All right, Derrick. So you were making your point about
Yeah. So everything that was said was 100% true from top to bottom, but there's also nuance and context to it as well, right? So like the marrying somebody that you don't like, I think there's two ways that this happens, right? I think that there are people who marry people that they don't like from inception. And I think that there are people who end up not liking them after going through discourse and other things in the relationship. And then it ends up being that way. The people who choose it from inception and what they were talking about, the maid versus the friend, most people, well, I won't say most, I don't have statistic, right? A lot of people, and I'm not going to do the whole both sides. They were talking about men, so I'll talk about men. There's a lot of men that have a checklist of what a wife should be, right? She needs to cook, she needs to clean, she needs to be this, she can't act like this, and they'll get that checklist. But on that checklist, there's nothing about compatibility, how we connect, how we deal with each other emotionally. But as long as they got that stuff, they willing to go ahead and put that ring on there because it checks off the check for those who look to be married, right? Because that list is getting smaller and smaller.
Mhm.
They get that checklist and then they're like, we'll figure out the rest later. But you really can't, because that should be your foundation, right? So the friend thing, a lot of people don't even seek that part out, because here's the thing. If I see you, I'm a man, I see a woman that I like, she's appealing, she's attractive, we start dating, I'm not really looking at you like a friend. I'm looking at you like somebody I want to hit it. I want to spend time with you. We chilling. The friend, they not like, when you're talking about like a friend, we're talking about we not having sex yet. We getting to learn each other. People aren't doing that, right? In that friend part, sometimes you end up growing into a friendship while you're doing all the other stuff.
Mhm.
But a lot of us, that other stuff is so big, we ain't worrying about. We just happy to be there. Everything cool. You at my house, I'm at your house. There's not a friendship being built there. And the benefits to having a friend as your wife or husband is that when you hang out with your friend, and this will, and I don't want to I don't want to monopolize everything, but this segues into why the men like to hang out with their boys more than their wife.
Mhm.
When you have a friend in your partner, if you think about how you are with your friends, you can be yourself. They're normally not going to judge you, right?
Right.
So it's comfortable. That friend you can talk to about anything because they're not going to throw it back up in your face. They're not going to judge you. Well, when you put yourself in a situation where you have a partner who's doing the opposite of that,
Mhm.
your friends look real good over here.
Yeah.
Because when you come home, it's real life. You got bills, you got disagreements. You're not doing that with your friends on a regular basis. So the human in you wants to cope with that stuff. Where do you go? Sometimes people go hang out with their friends too much because home, you got to deal with life. So it's like a release. So people would like to paint the narrative that men like to hang out with men more because they might be gay. But it's really, this is where I can be myself because I have not learned how to navigate this relationship. And now it's to a point where I'm probably resentful. I don't even want to have any disagreements anymore because this, you know what, sweetheart, you got it. Let's just move on. When you get like that, you're going to hang out with your boys a lot. You're going to get some drinks. You're going to go out and have some fun because that's where you release. So a lot of people have very poor communication skills. They don't respect each other. All the things that you should have with your friend. You muddy the waters because you're sleeping with the person. You got bills. You co-mingling stuff. You might have kids. All of that stuff. Most of us men don't associate that with friendship. we like friend, and this my wife. We not. So I'm gonna land my plane there.
That right there, I think, and this is not limited to men. I think men and women approach marriage as they look at that person that they're marrying as fulfilling a role in their life. And I hear a lot of people talk about getting into relationships to alleviate parts of their life that they don't want to have to deal with. Like, I need a man to take out the garbage for me because I hate taking out the garbage. I want a woman to cook for me because I don't know how to cook. If you're looking at a person as somebody who's going to come into your life and take certain things off of your plate that you don't want to deal with, then you're just you're limiting their part of your life. And that's why you see people who marry for certain things, they compartmentalize, like you said, they compartmentalize. My wife is for this part of me. and my friends get this part of me. And I don't mix the two. And most people don't approach marriage and relationships as looking for a friend. And I started to notice when I got back into the dating scene, you know how you go through the initial phase of having the conversations about what you're looking for and this and that and the other. And I started to get turned off because the men in my age group, the first things out of their mouth was, "Can you cook?"
Yep.
Sir, that's way down the line. You're not asking me questions about who I am as a person, you know, my interests. We're having these surface level conversations where you're interviewing me to fulfill a role in your life. And that is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a friend, a partner. All of that other stuff is just like given, because whether you're a man or a woman, you should know how to cook. Whether you're a man or a woman, you should know these things. A lot of these roles that we put on people, and we're getting into the gender role thing, it's just life skills that every human adult should have.
Yep.
But I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that both men and women see relationships with the opposite sexes mostly transactional, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really because, you know, as a man, and not saying that I do this, but as a lot of men do this, where they look at having that wife in, you know, having that girlfriend as, okay, I'm not trying to be your friend, but I am trying to get something from you. You are going to play a role in my life, but you know, the marriage is kind of the transactional part. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and marry you, and in return, you're going to do A, B, and C for me. And I think that goes back to what Derrick was saying about as far as, you know, being yourself around your friends. And women do it, men do it. They have a tendency to be more comfortable being around themselves. I mean, being around their friends and being themselves, because they know that when they're encountering the opposite sex, everything is going to be a transactional thing. You're going to approach this particular, and it shouldn't be that way, of course. You know, when you want that partner to be your friend, but many people don't see it as that. And a lot of that does boil down to the gender roles. If you find a woman that doesn't fit specific gender roles, then you're not even considering them for that transactional relationship. So there's a bit of, you know, give and take with that.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Erica.
A lot of it, I see it 50-50. Some of it is self-imposed, like it's internalized, because we go around and we measure our manhood and our womanhood on the things that we can do. Like if you can't cook, you feel like you're less than a woman. So I hear a lot of women who lead with that and they advertise that. And I used to tell women when I was coaching, if you're going around bragging about how good you can cook and how you would make a good wife for somebody, you're going to attract a man who wants to eat your food. That's what he came there for. So once you get with him, and you're going to be upset because, well, he doesn't see me for anything else. But that's what if you're advertising a car, you're going to attract people who's looking to buy that car. You can't bring them in to buy a car and then try to sell them some cookies. It's a bait and switch. However you attract that person, that is what they're coming there for. And then you're upset because I want them to see all the other things about me, how wonderful I am, what a good person I am. But that's not what you led with. And that goes the way both for men and women. I hear a lot of men and say, women are just wanting me for my money. But sir, that's what you lead with.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're unintentionally leading with it, you know, I went down this weird YouTube rabbit hole recently about these gold digger prank videos, and I'm not proud of myself for doing it. Right? Not at all. But when you go down that rabbit hole, you see these guys that are leading with their money, leading with, and they're making that seem like it's a big deal. To a certain extent, I think that generationally, the sexes are taught to do that. We're taught that women cook, women clean. And if you don't cook and you don't clean, then you're not going to be of value to any man that wants you. Most men, they're taught that if you're not able to provide for the home or able to take care of the home financially or show that you actually have the ability to do that, then most women aren't going to want you. So we're, like I said, we're in this weird transitional generation right now, right? Because we're stuck in that 40s, 50s generation where, I know a lot of people who got married in the 40s, 50s, 60s who was unhappy, right? Because as a wife, your role was different. Your role wasn't to be your husband's best friend. Your role wasn't to be your husband's counselor. Your role was to make sure the kids is good. Your role was to make sure you wash dishes and make sure dinner was there and dinner was ready. That's why you see so many toxic relationships from back then where, the man is going outside of the home having kids here and kids there, but they didn't really concern themselves with that part because that's just quote unquote what men do. As long as he's providing and playing his role in the gender scenario, then everything's fine. Yes, the improprieties suck and it may be hurtful, but that's just what he does. And they were accepting of it. We're in a generation now where we ain't playing that. We're looking for more. We're looking for more fulfillment. We're looking for a scenario where we're not sitting there crying over some dude who done, went and had outside babies, or, some woman that's out there cheating and thotting somewhere. We actually want to have meaningful relationships with our significant others and not have these transactional relationships. And I think that that's the most important thing to remember, is that this ain't your daddy's generation. This ain't your mama's generation. Now we're looking for more, as opposed to, and some of these lessons, it's going to be hard to unteach them because we still have the legacy of what our grandmothers and our mothers went through that's still kind of permeating into what we're doing today. And I guess our main goal is to try to make sure that we're kind of breaking those stereotypes up, because if we're not isolating what is actually happening to cause it, then we're going to end up repeating it, or we're going to end up in this toxic back and forth that we're going through right now between black men and black women.
I got a question for you two fellas. I want you to answer this for me. You ever heard the saying, you can love somebody and not like them?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask you guys, do you feel that it's important to like the person that you're in a relationship with?
I think it's important to like the person that you're with. I think that it kind of comes and goes, but if you never come back to it, then we got a problem. Right? So I think you definitely need to like them, even if you don't like them all the time. It needs to be part of your foundation, the like and the love, right? Because those are the things you go back to when you have turmoil. And if you don't like them like ever, then you're going to be detached. You're going to be moving different. You're not even going to care about them. Like we always hear about people who they basically are together. They may be married and they doing them. Like they have like basically two different lives. They live in the same house, but they doing whatever they want to do. And one partner could be going through something, and the other partner's like, I'll be back. I'm about to go hang out with my boys. Have fun with that. Maybe like, but I'm sick. I'll let you get back. Yeah. So it's not like when you don't have that, you might as well hang it up. Y'all roommates paying bills at this point.
Yeah, that's actually what I was just about to say. I mean, that's what it boils down to. If you don't like the person that you're committing yourself to, then you're legitimately just signing a lease with a roommate. That's all the marriage certificate is. It's a lease. Y'all are literally just going to agree to coexist in a space, just for that transactional, or we keep the roof over the head together and vice versa. You have to like the person that you're with, right? Again, I go back to our parents and our grandparents. A lot of times, them people didn't like each other. They really didn't. but it was a transactional relationship. Nowadays, you don't have the women are making a lot more money these days. They can suffice all by themselves. Men, a lot of men know how to cook now, and they know how to clean, and they know how to do. They can suffice all by themselves. So, what is there left to transact? What can you do for me that I can't do for myself? So, yeah, you can't go back into those transactional type relationships. You have to like the person that you're with and be willing to actually coexist with them. And as Derrick was saying, hey, there are sometimes, man, when the person that you with may get on your nerves, get on your last nerve. But you have to know that in your worst moments, I still love you and I still care about your well-being, even in those worst moments. I might not like you right now, but it's going to come back to that because I love you and because I really care about what we have together.
Yeah. Now I want to piggyback off of that real quick, because I think like we are in a weird space, like when it talks to relationships. Just to piggyback, I think back in the day, the relationship was extremely transactional, and let's say the woman didn't have any recourse, so she had to stay because of finances or whatever, right? So all of the stuff in the middle, the connectivity, the communication skills, and all of that stuff didn't need to be worked on because nobody was leaving. No matter what they did, they could be cheating, they not leaving, right? So now we're at a point where all of those things that made you have to stay don't exist.
Right.
So there's an information gap, there's an education gap, there's emotional intelligence in there, there's communication skills, there's how do we connect? No one ever had to have that skill set. So now there's a void. So now if I don't know how to do all of this and I'm still trying to operate like that, but we got different people now. These women are doing their thing, men are doing whatever they're doing. That place in the middle, someone may say, hey, that place in the middle, that's what we need because I got the job. And they like, I don't know. Can you cook? Like they don't know how to function in that place because their parents definitely didn't. Parents didn't teach us. I was gonna say them. Our parents didn't teach us because they didn't have to have that.
Right.
They wasn't going. We don't believe in divorce. We just gonna stay together. And they rode that thing till the wheels fall off. Now it's like, you know what? I don't have to stay. What else you got? I don't need money. Can we sit down and talk? And then you hear these people, my man don't know how to communicate. He don't know how to talk. He keep to himself. And I'm like, you knew that when you met him, right? But then you go 15 other ones, they all can't talk because it's not something that's innate because we were trained, protect, provide,
right?
Go down the little bullet points, and that should get us through. And the women are like, that ain't it. That ain't it. We gotta, can we do some more? And so now you have some men who have moved to the middle. You have some women who have, we moved to the middle, and they call that modern. Where the people on the outskirts are fighting. And so now everybody's like, no, if you got to do it the old way or else it's not going to work. No, you got to do it the new way because we not. And now everybody's on these doggone podcasts and they just going at it because everybody thinks they're right instead of understanding when you meet whoever, you vet them for what you think's going to work for you. If not, okay. If you like it, maybe some people may need some coach. Hey, I make money too. Oh yeah, you're right. Let me go ahead and adapt to that. Cool. You might save some folks. But for the most part, people are fighting for what they think should be the way things work. The problem is most of these people don't even have proof of concept that that their way works. They heard on the internet. So now they like, if you don't do this, if you don't cook, it's never gonna work. Huh?
Exactly.
Have you been married before? When's your longest relationship? 6 months. How you don't even know if it works or not for you. Right. So I'm gonna land my plane there.
Yeah, I mean it's weird because people do that, and that's one of the most dangerous facets of our society today is the generalization of genders and the generalization of relationships, right? Like everybody's relationship is different. If you're one of those people who is a more traditional man and you want to provide for the household and you are looking for someone that fits into that traditional mold, then that's fine. You vet that person, as you were saying there, you vet that person and you find that person, and that's the person that you're with. But instead of that happening, what happens is that person jumps on a podcast and says that all these women ain't traditional and I need some woman that's going to be traditional. So then the women who are, more modern, they get upset with that person and then they shoot, barbs at that. So instead of treating each individual relationship as it should be, hey, I like the color green. I may not like somebody who likes the color orange, in their space, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if I like that color green, I want to look for somebody who is more comfortable with that green color. Same scenario. Like if I want somebody who's going to be more modern, then I vet that person and I find that person. It's not wrong of me to want that. Just like it's not wrong of those people to want a traditional relationship. It's when all the vitriol comes out because I want this traditional relationship and you people should want the traditional relationship too.
Right.
That's where the biggest issue that we have online is coming from. All of these people are at war because of their personal preferences, not because of what men are, quote unquote, or what women are, and all y'all modern women, such, and all y'all, passport bros or this. It's literally their preference, and they make their preference become the fact of the matter. They make their preference become this is what everybody should want, or this is what everybody is. And that's what's causing so much upheaval right now. And in a relationship sense, you're never going to be happy because you're taking so much time saying what's wrong about people instead of vetting what's right about your partner.
Exactly. That's you both said what I was thinking. It's the concept. I just so many people approach relationship as a concept instead of as a relationship between two individuals who are trying to mesh their lives together, take two different point of views, experiences, and see if those can complement each other instead of trying to measure what you got going on against what everybody else think it should be. Because and we do that as individuals. We measure ourselves against what society says a woman should look like, what a high value woman should look like, what a high value man should look like, what a good person does. Instead of just being, you can take values from traditional and modern and make it uniquely your own. You don't have to fit into one category or the other, whatever works for those two people. But we, like you said, we're trying to, because it's a scarcity mindset, is that I am who I am, and I want to see more people like me so that I can feel valid in what I want. And if everybody else over there is doing something different than what I'm doing, then maybe I'm wrong. Instead of just being okay with how you are, you don't have to be right or wrong. You're just you. And find a person or partner to partner up with who can see the value in who you are and complement it and not try to change it. But all this back and forth on the internet, more women should be like that. We've already proven that traditional, it was romanticized, it was lies. You thought your grandmother and your grandfather stayed together for all them years because they just loved each other. And then you found out that you had some aunties and uncles and cousins across the way. That your pawpaw was hiding the whole time, and your mama was hating her life. behind closed doors. We've all put on a good face for the public to make people think we have such a good relationship and a good life. But we found out even our grandmothers, after they were out of that situation, they told us it wasn't what y'all thought it was. And don't be like me. Don't do what I did. And that's why you have a generation of women now who are becoming more financially independent, because they had a generation of women telling them, don't depend on no man how I did.
Yeah. It's some silly stuff out there, and it gets to me sometimes because it's not realistic. Like they'll say if as a woman, if you have a husband or a boyfriend that you live with or whatever, and if you have to pay any bill, he's not a provider. You're living with a roommate. He's not a real man. He's not a provider. If you have to pay any percentage of the bills, he should be able to pay all of them, and then you should have the option to pay one if you want to. But if he's not paying them all, then he's a roommate. And I'm like, you know this economy, right? Like y'all, like most people don't have it like that, male or female. Like y'all gonna have to pull some resources if especially if you got a family, you trying to, maybe you need a bigger space. You're gonna have to put some money in. I got enough money to support my life. I'm good. Until you merge all that stuff. Yeah, hey, can we get a house that got 4 bedrooms? Because wait, hold on. I'm doing good at my job, but I don't know if I'm gonna get that raise.
Right.
So this is what pisses me off about that statement. Like if he's not paying 100% of the bills and he's not a provider, but then on the other hand, you want a man to be more physically present and more emotionally involved.
Right.
Which one do you want?
Exactly.
You want him to go out and slave and pay all the bills and then also come home and be physically present and be emotionally available and be mentally sound and healthy. You want him to do all of that. That's the reason why most men back in the day were providers, sole providers, because they were not physically present and they felt like they didn't have to give any emotional support in the house because they were doing what they were taught to do.
Right.
You can't have it both ways like that.
Exactly. You see that so much too. Like you see so many people that are online that are screaming about, men being emotionally available. And while that's a great thought, I think part of the issue is, again, all of that trickle down from those gender roles that have been taught. There's that weird amalgamation of, oh, I want that man to provide for me. He's got to be a provider. And then somebody coming in, but he's also got to be emotionally supportive. He's also got to be emotionally available. He's got to go. And so you hear all of these things. And so there are so many women that are caught in this limbo where it's like they want that provider, they want that traditional thing that they were taught about, but then also there's the whispers of, you want that emotionally available man, you want that, so your mama and them didn't have an emotionally available man. Your grandmama and them didn't have that emotionally available man. I want somebody that was just like my daddy, just like my grandpappy. Well, guess what? He wasn't the most emotionally available person most of the time. Again, I don't want to speak in generality, but the most of the time, that's not what it was. So you still have these little creeping in, kind of to double back to one of the things that you said earlier, Erica, about, people sitting there and looking at these things and saying, well, they want that validation. Mm-hmm. And, then they want to, make sure that they're, so they don't think, well, maybe I'm wrong about something. The problem is we don't have a society that's like, maybe I'm wrong about something. We have a society that says, well, I am right about everything that I think, and I'm going to share that with the world. And so the whole world going to think that I'm right about whatever it is. And the problem, the blessing and the curse of having social media is that it's not hard to find your tribe. All you got to do is say, well, sprinkle, I don't like when men do this, and men should do this. And guess what? You're going to have a flock of these other women coming to you saying, you know what? I agree with you. You're going to have some guys who like, man, we need to lead the country. We got to find women in these other spots. And guess what? You're going to have a whole flock that come to you because social media is so powerful and people look for those outliers and just gravitate to them.
And everything is not black and white. Like
It's not.
the sprinkle lady. I don't agree with the majority of the stuff she says. You know how they say a dead clock is right twice a day.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Every now and then she'll say something. I'm like, okay, I do agree with that, but I don't have to be a loyal follower of her and think that everything she said is gold. I can take the message and say, okay, I do believe in that, but not everything that she says. Just like some people say some of the stuff Kevin Samuel said was good, but I didn't agree with him, bashing women. I just took certain things that he said and applied it to my life. And but social media is not like that. They're so black and white. It's like you got to be a loyal follower or you got to be all in or all out.
Right.
And it's a crazy place.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's gonna get crazier too, because now one of the things I'm already seeing on threads, right, is that people are afraid to like comment on certain posts. Now that you realize that anytime you comment on something, everybody sees what you comment, and it goes to everybody. Now people are afraid to comment on stuff because they're like, oh, I don't want to comment on this because I don't want them to think I'm associated with this type of mentality or whatever. So you're starting to see a lot of that division, starting to happen on there already, which is interesting because it just came out. Came out.
Any social media platform is gonna have it. It's they're not exempt.
That's true.
The one other thing that I hear now too, and there's again it happens on both sides, I think, but the hate for the whole gender, not just the ones that ain't doing good, the whole 100%, it makes no sense. And the reason why I say that is I've heard some creators say, we should unalive all male babies so that we don't have to deal with any of them ever. I've heard, men are 100% of men are incapable of love biologically. They could never do it. So if you choose to be with a man, it's already a bad, whatever, no matter how much vetting you do, biologically, it's impossible for him to. So they're all like this. So you might as well just not deal with any of them and just buy houses together. And I'm like, it sounds good if that's what you believe, but y'all are still out here dating and sleeping with these dudes. So stop. Just stop it. Like, seriously.
And it's weird to me because you can get on the social media platform and you can talk about your education and your degrees and all the books that you read, and you can sound like a motivational speaker, and people will believe that what you're saying is fact because they believe you've done scientific research. And they know it because that lady, the queen maker, I just saw a video last night. This guy had stitched one of her videos and he was talking about how her voice is so moving and how what she's saying is so profound and more people need to listen to her. I'm like, have you listened to her? She wants to kill all men and you're a man. And you're talking because she has a voice that carries and she sounds educated and regal. People should listen to her.
I kind of miss the days when you had to actually be important to be important, right? I see so many influencers, quote unquote, and creators that just because they were able to shake some booty on TikTok, they can have TikTok shows where they literally have like talk shows on TikTok. And I know you've seen this, Derrick, where they'll have these all you was doing literally was doing TikTok dances, and because you had a big booty, you had a following that came and was following you because the big booty, and now all of a sudden you're a serious creator and you're sitting there telling people what they should do and how to deal with relationships and things like that, and it's like, really? But none of the stuff you're saying is really valid, but they have huge audiences that's tuning into them. Hope, most of the time they're thinking, oh, well, maybe we're gonna get a glimpse of something, maybe she's gonna do a little shake or something. But these people are not versed in what they're talking about. They're not really being honest about a lot of the things they're talking about. And some of them can barely spell, because I've watched some of these lives and I'm like, bro, really? Y'all are paying attention to this, and y'all are going in for it's we place too much importance on people that we should not value their opinion so much. And I feel like everybody's opinion is valid, but just because it's a valid opinion doesn't mean it should be overvalued. So sometimes I feel like we need to look at the source of where we're getting this from, and then think about it. Like, do I really want to listen to, the real estate agent who's, basically, selling, IG sex porn, that coming on here and, just talking about how well how you're supposed to function in a relationship? Probably not. Probably not.
Yes. So real quick, that I think that there's a gap in male and female. Oh, I'm sorry, I said female. Oops.
That's a whole nother conversation, right there.
I think that there is a starvation and a need for answers to why I've been traumatized by the opposite sex. And because that starvation is there for that information, and you don't necessarily derive that from your friend group or yourself or your parents, you're looking for any answer, something to make you feel better about what you've been through. And these people had these mics, and they had these platforms, and they have 500,000. Maybe if that many people are following them, they might be right. And what ends up happening is that you then start to digest this stuff, and your human brain knows that you keep looking at it. This is the downside of the algorithms. Then you consume it without even knowing, to the point where even when you detach from it, you feel like you need it. You need to keep going back, because your mind and your body is so used to the repetition. And now you find yourself sitting on there. Like I will literally pass by live, come back 6 hours later, and they still going.
They still
going.
They still go, and people's like, I missed lunch. I'm late picking up my kid. I'm like, y'all are talking about submission and gender wars, and I'm like, you just spent the whole work day, because it becomes an addiction.
Yeah.
And then also on the top of that addiction, it then starts to become a part of your truth, a part of your thought process, and that's what happened. The guy that passed away with the initials KS. That thought process permeated throughout so many different men that they don't even know how to speak like their normal selves anymore. They have to parrot the information, because to them, it's now their truth, because now they have an answer. A lot of, like, if you really do research about how many men are single, sexless, and they just been sitting for nobody's checking for them, and they don't know. Those are the dudes that's looking for answers. It's not me. It's these women out here. They need to. They too overweight. That's why nobody's checking for me. Calm down, sir. People, men and women, are looking for reasons why they're not enough, or why I keep getting hurt. Instead of looking internally, they need a finger to point, and you have a whole internet that has a different finger for whatever finger you want to use. You can just pick that and sit there, and you're like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. And now you paying, like, these people are cash apping these folks hundreds of dollars and I'm like,
oh my God, it's crazy.
And it's sad, because like you were saying, it's almost like they were valid. It gives them validation to how they've been feeling. And it's always easier to blame somebody else than looking internally, for both men and for women. A lot of times, like the woman that's talking, we need to unalive all males and everything. She needs to do some real introspection on why she's having some issues. Many times the real cause, the real root issue is you.
And it sounds like something traumatic happened to her with a man in her past, because she has a hatred. I mean, you can sound as educated as you want to, but I hear hatred for men. That's what I hear. I don't hear all the education. I mean, and anybody in this world, you can educate yourself on anything that you're passionate about. You chose this. You chose to educate yourself on why men are incapable of showing love and how men are just users. That's what you chose. So that desire to prove that point was already there before you started doing the research.
Exactly. And if you're looking for something,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna find it. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna look until you find a point that validates what you're thinking and what you're feeling, and you're gonna focus on that point, and then you're going to project that point out to everyone. And the sad part is that there's people who are going to come out of the woodwork, and they're going to be like, oh, finally, somebody gets me, somebody feels me. And you end up in these weird groups of people who we talked about the passport bro thing. You get in these weird groups of people because there's a lot of folks in that passport bro community or whatever that are legitimately, I just want to go travel, I want to find my bride. But there's a lot of people in those groups that I ain't worried about getting a passport. I just want to hate women. I just want to hate American women or the black woman, for what they are. I'm not going to travel. I just hate it, and they're leeching on to little points that make them feel valid about how they're feeling. And then they join these groups of people, and they're literally, just spewing out. And like you were saying earlier, parroting everything that they're hearing people say in these groups.
Yeah. Before we close out, I wanted to touch on the gender roles topic. The more and more that I've been thinking and observing stuff, the categories that we put people in are just really like silly.
Yeah.
How we separate, like, if I meet a man and you don't know how to change a tire, then you're not a real man.
Right.
Like that kind of stuff that bothers me. Like you were saying earlier, Derrick, about the man not paying 100% of the bills, then that's not a real man. And that's that right there. I want to stop that real man and real woman bullshit. I'm sick of that.
Yeah.
If you were born with the genitalia, you don't need to go through life proving that you're that.
Yeah.
That is very, very true.
It's disheartening to see these hard cutoff lines that they make on both sides, right? The whole body count conversation that these men are having with these women, and as if they're gonna get the real number anyway.
Right.
You ain't gonna get my real number because I don't know it.
Yeah, so it's like they're always looking for a way, to disqualify you, right? But then they'll say that they're looking for a wife or a husband, but you're trying to literally pull out every reason not to be with someone.
Yeah.
But you still want to be with someone. So you're not even going to try to figure out the things that are going to help you merge together. You're focusing on all the reasons why you should disqualify people. And then you're like, I'm good right here. And it's like, but I'm trying to help people get married. And I want to make sure that these relationships, the community. And I'm like, this is not community conversation. This is divisive conversation. Like, if you say, I hate all men and this is my platform, then why do you have men on your platform? Because you want to argue.
Right.
That's the only reason to do it. Because if you pro women, Y'all should always have women on your platform talking about how much y'all hate men. You're not going to do that. You're going to have a man next to you on your podcast so y'all can go back and forth so you can get more numbers.
Right, exactly.
That's the only reason to do that. So I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, y'all not really about the community for real.
Nope.
Nope.
Because you haven't had one conversation that shows how you're going to solve this issue. You're talking about what's wrong with everybody every single week. And I'm like, but to a lot of people, it's entertaining. Some people feel like they're getting answers. And then you consume so much of it that now you don't even date anymore. You still sitting at home because you're like, yeah, well, they said they all ain't shit. So I'm gonna go to brunch with my girls and we figured out, I don't even know. And I'm like, you just called me last week and be coaching on how you can find them. Like, which you got to pick a struggle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, right? Human beings are a communal creature, right?
Yes.
We don't even have to worry about gender. Most of us would love, if the situation was right, we would love to have someone. I'm not even talking about whether you straight, whatever. You want somebody to be able to confide and touch and hug and we want that as humans, right?
Yes.
So while you are talking about how much you hate, that other part of you is still in there. Whether you deal with a man or if you're a woman, if you deal with a woman, you're still looking for it. And if you don't actively have it, you're sitting at home trying to figure out why you don't. You're still like, if I could count how many people told me that everybody's trash, but I still want to be out here and date. I'm like, so if they're all trash, why even go date? Why date? If 100% of the people are trash, why are you out here dating? Because there's something in you that feels like, I just want something, even if it's companionship, even if it's just a friend to have for my needs. You're going to still, at some point, that's why these situationships happen. Because people cannot detach. You're human. At some point, somebody's going to be like, damn, we've been chilling for 6 months, man. Like, I met your kid. I done been to your mama house. What part of the game is that? This is human connection. That's why it feels like you could say, like a guy in a city, and I know I'm going on a little, just give me a second.
Go ahead. Go for it.
You can have a guy who says, I just want sex from you. And you say, okay, no problem. Right? Then that guy ends up doing boyfriend stuff with you. Why would someone who only wants sex also now want to chill and watch a movie with you and take you out to dinner? Because the human connect, even for somebody that's saying they don't want it, they still, you spend enough time with somebody that you're attracted to and that you actually like, you're gonna want to keep coming back.
Oh, yep.
And sometimes it's not even gonna be about sex. And you're like, damn, how did we get here? And you're like, what are we doing? What are we? You can't escape it. Isolation is a punishment in jail. And if you take COVID, even the most staunch introvert was going through it. They was like, damn, I like being by myself, but this, whoa, like what? Too much. It's some people, you can last a while. 3 years? Nah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I was in heaven at first, and then I was like, I gotta get up out of here.
Yeah. After a while, it kind of grinds on you a little bit.
Yes.
And not in a good way.
Not in a good way. Yep. But we finna wrap it up, y'all. Let's see who we got. Love Tucker said not her, but yeah, the son was here.
Yeah, you had somebody to talk to. Like, I'm not saying that people can't be isolated, but most people at some point, you're gonna make a phone call, you're gonna do a FaceTime, you're gonna have to, you're gonna need some kind of connectivity. Those of us that say we good without any of it and we can do it indefinitely, I call bullshit. You're a human being. And if you're not doing it and you saying you okay, I'm gonna need to go ahead and sit you down with a therapist and we're gonna really see what's going on in that head. You ain't all the way happy. You're human. Yeah. You're human. There's a part of you that's like, damn, I wish I could. I want to. All of that means you ain't happy. So stop it.
Right.
Yes. When I hear people say, I don't like people, I say, you do like people. You have certain people that you feel comfortable with, but don't say you don't like people. because you couldn't live on this earth without people.
Right.
What can you do on this earth all by yourself and survive?
I mean, there are some things you can do all by yourself, but not anything that I want to always do all by myself.
I mean for the whole duration of your life.
This dude.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if I want to do it for the whole duration of my life. You know?
Yes.
Vaseline and lotion are expensive, man.
Don't start.
I'm just saying.
Yes. Thank everybody for tuning in, for joining in the comments, adding your input to the conversation. This was another dope discussions. Special shout out to our special guest, Derrick Jones from the Relationship Gumbo, certified relationship coach. Y'all better go check him out. I got his website scrolling on the bottom of the screen. Please go ahead and type that in and follow Derrick Jones. Follow him on TikTok, y'all. Every Tuesday and Thursday night he goes live. Derrick, are you still doing your happy hours where you play music?
So you got to follow me on TikTok and click the bell at the top of the profile, right? Click the bell at the top of the profile so you can get all the notifications. They don't happen every week. It's kind of like my I don't want to use the word there. What's the word? It's like, you know how people meditate. That's how I meditate.
Yeah.
I play music. I have fun. I dance. I sing. All that stuff. So it just depends on how I'm feeling. Sometimes you'll get 3 Fridays in a row because I've been feeling like that. And it might disappear for a couple of weeks. So you just got to make sure you follow me. But yeah, even if you love the content, if you rocking with how I'm doing things, just create an account and just follow me by just follow me. You ain't got to worry about it. Follow Dope Discussions, follow them. But I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of people, I'm never going over there. If you like the content, you get it. Like, you get the Q&As and all the questions and stuff you can ask. That don't cost you a dime.
Yes.
TikTok
Right.
free too.
Right. Or just wait about 6 months and Mark Zuckerberg gonna drop that knick-knack.
What's that? Don't tell me it's another one coming out, y'all.
No,
I can't keep up. I'm about to say, knick-knack.
It's a lot.
Well, close us out with our last parting words of what, sum up this discussion and what you got out of it and what you want to leave the audience with. So let's start with you, Gator, Vita.
Man, the biggest thing that we have to realize is that we're living in a changing world, man. Things ain't like they used to be. So you have to navigate this thing sensibly. You have to look and take into account other people's feelings, other people's emotions, but also your feelings and your emotions. Not everybody's going to be for you, and that's fine. But don't attack them because they're not for you.
Yes. All right. D. Jones.
So I would say it's best practice for you to take time to understand who you are, heal from whatever you have to heal from. And healing is not a destination. It's just you managing things better. And you're going to always have to do that. Once you understand you, then you'll better understand your needs and your wants. Once you do that, and you actually want to go out here and date and meet people, then you won't give a damn about all of these roles and these little boxes to check off that other people say you should have. You're going to pick something that fits the you that you now understand and knowing who you are. And that may not look like the cookie cutter thing, and it's cool because it's going to fit who you are. It's going to make you happy because you don't have to put on a facade to try to pretend you're something you're not under the guise of being a real man or a real woman. It's just you. That's all I got.
Yes. And I'm going to just leave y'all with the simple one-liner that I got from that video. Marry your friend and hire a maid because we tired. We want a partner. We want a friend. We ain't trying to be your maid and your mammy.
Look, I wish I'd be somebody like that because I'm always, I'm usually that the cook and the clean and the work. I do all that kind of stuff. Multiple trades.
So Gator said he looking for a maid, y'all.
Look, no.
He looking for a maid he could sleep with.
Look, I already got Nadine. Look, we ain't gonna afford that. We can't afford that. You know what I'm saying? She the only person I'm sleeping with. We ain't about to do none of that other stuff.
Yeah, a lot of these men out here just looking for a maid they can sleep with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Them Pornhub fantasies that they be having.
All right, y'all. We are out. We will see y'all again next week. Same time, same place. And y'all have a good evening.
Peace out.